Fiona's fury seen from above in Porto Basque, a community, dozens of homes now shredded, all the cherished possessions inside strewn across the ground. Residents here are in shock, picking out the pieces of their shattered lives from the water that overcame them.
I'm lucky to be alive.
That's because Brian Osmond was pulled into the sea when waves crashed into his home. Somehow he managed to claw his way out.
Way took me and I went under. Like I said, my hands was all beat up and everything. My legs was beat up and I thought I was gone.
Another resident, a 73-year-old woman, did die after she was ripped from her home by the surging water. So many here are struggling with what to do next, how to even begin to rebuild.
I don't know how long of a road it's going to be to get back to where we were Friday. It's just 2 days ago and our life has changed.
Fiona flooded Karen Kettle's home.
I knew a storm was coming. I knew it was a bad storm, but I didn't think there would be such devastation.
Military assistance is set to arrive on Newfoundland's south coast Tuesday, including a Navy patrol vessel to help with recovery efforts.
If more soldiers are needed, more will be deployed.
The community is already coming together to help each other. This is the Lions Club in Porto Basque. Table after table of donations being sorted by volunteers.
It's been absolutely amazing to see the support given to us.
True neighbors helping neighbors.
Definitely. Definitely good Newfoundland hospitality for sure.
3X?
There are several other donation centers in the town. Volunteers are upbeat, but the pain of this moment is never far away.
Children's clothes here.
Volunteer Holly Wells is asking all Canadians to keep Porto Basque in their thoughts.
We're a small community, but we are close-knit, and we're going to get through it together best we know how.
The cleanup is a collective effort too, with so much difficult work ahead. A beautiful community now so deeply scarred. Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Porto Basque.
And as you saw, the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador has been surveying the damage here in Porto Basque all day, so we thought we'd ask him a few questions. So, Premier, I know you've been here throughout the day, you've been touring and talking with people. Concretely, there's a lot of need here. Concretely, what are you going to be able to do for them?
Well, first of all, we need to really assess what the damage is. I mean, in any natural disaster, there's the immediate response phase, and this is no different. So, you know, we've seen some infrastructure damage, but there's some hidden infrastructure damage as well. So we need to do an inventory of what the actual damage is and what the needs assessment are. And then it's our job as governments to really coordinate the efforts in matching volunteers or military skills with the needs of the communities. And that's what we'll be doing over the next few days and weeks. This is not something that's going to change overnight. As we move from an acute response into a recovery phase, this is going to take weeks and months.
But winter's coming. I mean...
Indeed, yeah. And so we're going to be here to support the people. So first and foremost, we want to make sure that anyone who's been displaced from their homes has a shelter, has somewhere to stay, has a new place to call home, a temporary place to call home. So in working with our partners and other stakeholders like the Canadian Red Cross, we've been able to achieve that in the short term, but then we want to look into the medium and long term. We also know that there's a lot of people who, you know, didn't have insurance, or insurance isn't going to cover some of this. And as a government, we will be there to help them financially navigate those waters as well.
So we all understand from the evidence of the climate change that it is more likely that there will be more big storms like this and more storms, more fierce storms like this in places like this. Yeah. So what sort of conversation do you have to have as a province about where people live and how they build? Yeah,
I mean, Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are resourceful, they're resilient, and as we rebuild in Porto Basque and the surrounding areas on the southwest coast, it's a conversation that we need to have. I mean, these communities have been settled for historic economic purposes, fishing. I mean, so it made sense to put your house and stage as close to the water as possible. Now we may need to re-examine how to rebuild and mitigate these extreme weather events as we move into the future. But I'm confident that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are ready for that, especially the people here, about where to rebuild. It's not, do we rebuild? Of course we rebuild, but where do we rebuild and how do we rebuild better?
And maybe not this close.
Maybe not this close.
All right, Premier Fury, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.